So the church where we're sat now is in Prescot Parish Church. It's a Grade 1 listed building, the only one in Knowsley, and it's kind of a centre point for the whole town. So when COVID struck, we went from having a congregation of over 100 people here every Sunday to suddenly having to close the church doors and find new ways of being church out in the community.
The need for streaming became very, very strong indeed as a way of getting some services out to people that they could tune into.
So I'd heard of Adlib previously, heard that it would then be recommended by different kind of organisations. So contacted Adlib, and a gentleman called Tim got back to me and arranged a time to come and to look at the church and to kind of dream up with us what could be.
I went to site and spent some time in the space. They clearly wanted to develop a streaming capability that they didn't have before, but it also became apparent during that conversation that one of their key requirements was an upgraded loudspeaker system.
Our existing system, with the sound was pretty poor.
People, especially further back, would really, really struggle to hear.
Because they had those two requirements at the same time, one for a loudspeaker system and one for a streaming camera system, we were able to approach them holistically and deliver an integrated solution. So we were able to design a system which struck a good balance between cost and performance. The key component of the streaming system is a Panasonic HN38 PTZ camera. We know from experience of using the Panasonic PTZs, we can get an excellent zoom right in to get a close-up of someone speaking at the opposite end of a church, which is key. OBS provides the platform to cut between the camera feed, various holding slides, and they've also got something to cut to in the event of an emergency if they need to. The camera itself has a number of preset positions. We looked at the positions where people were likely to speak from regularly and set them as presets. All of these presets are recalled from a Stream Deck, which is used via the companion software to trigger presets through OBS.
It's just remarkably simple, and I think when I've taught people through how to use it, everyone has been blown away by how straightforward it is. I think everyone's like, oh yeah, sure. And then when they actually see what's in front of them, they go, oh my goodness, it is as straightforward as that. Well, absolutely every aspect of the church that you would want to have on video is labelled, and it zooms in with just the press of a button. People who operate the system now aren't necessarily people who'd have had the confidence once upon a time to do that, but I think it's made a whole load of people, myself included really, enter into a whole world that we just didn't really know existed previously. And so many people have spoken unilaterally really about the difference that it's made.
Yeah. Just turn on your tablet, go onto Facebook, click on Prescot Parish Church, and it's there. And then just wait for it to come on, click, and there
10
you go.
o'clock, it just comes on.
Yeah.
Since I've had all the new audio systems put in and everything, it really has improved.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
Besides people, and we take people to the seats at the moment, and people are panicking, oh, I've got to sit at the front, otherwise I can't hear. But now you can sit anywhere in church and hear perfectly, so there's no panic over where people sit. No. It doesn't matter.
So the audio system, the first thing that was important to establish was the locations of the loudspeakers and the form factor that we wanted to use. One brand immediately stood out as having an appropriate offering, whatever conclusion I reached, and that was RCF. We decided that their mid-range option from the L series of installation products was the most appropriate. It's a fully passive box, so we were able to drive it from an amplifier located elsewhere. That meant less cabling needed to be run. Because of their compact size, they did need a bit of low frequency extension, hence settling on 12-inch low frequency boxes. Whatever is sent to the speakers is sent to the stream, to which we add, in this case, 2 DPA omnidirectional microphones to provide an ambient feed for the stream. The pillars struck me as the ideal place to put mid-high loudspeakers. However, of course, what with it being a listed building, we needed to come up with some sort of solution to mount them non-destructively. We have done similar installations before where we've used bandit strapping, which can be put around a column and tightened and used to hold a bracket in place in a manner that's non-destructive.
Being a Grade 1 listed building, there were restrictions on what we could and couldn't do, but straight away it was kind of, okay, so how can we make sure we can make this happen?
There are severe restrictions. We were reassured by Adlib's experience of having worked in listed buildings previously.
Well, the west wall of the church is particularly ornate and is listed in its own right. Really, that was the only place where a single camera could go and provide the sort of coverage that the church needed. Someone in the past had fixed an emergency exit sign to that wall. So we were able to design a bracket which, having removed the sign, we were able to share fixings. No damage was done to the church, and again, our element is entirely removable non-destructively. We can and do and should use our experience of how similar spaces are used to make sure that something is put in place which future users of the space will come into and be impressed by and satisfied with.
Everybody you speak to is really proud of the quality we have. I think it's taken us all a bit by surprise that just how much wider than the pure Sunday morning service the impact of it has been. We've had children's Christmas carol services, we've done funerals.
Weddings, the same for baptisms, the same for Sunday Eucharist, and also feast days during the week. It's opened up all kinds of possibilities.
My view has always been that if you do something, you do it properly or you don't do it at all. It's been exceedingly good value for money, and more importantly, it's going to be a superb asset for us and for the community, both now and very much into the future. We'd do exactly the same again and choose Adlib if we were going through it again.